My name is Thomas Tatham, and I'm from Canton, North Carolina, and I attended Wofford College in Spartanburg, South Carolina. I shadowed a lot of different professions in high school and early college years. I always knew that I wanted to do medicine. Being able to fix people usually quicker than, in my opinion, a lot of other professions that I kind of thought took a long time, maybe months, years, or just monitored patients, where I saw optometry as have a patient come in, form a plan, and you fix them, and it all happens relatively quickly. I like to fix things, and I like to problem solve, and I enjoyed the fact that they were able to create a plan quickly and apply that plan to treat a patient within a relatively short amount of time compared to other professions. I've always been intrigued with sports vision. I played baseball in college and had an eye injury that was kind of severe. I lost my vision for about 24 hours because of it. Without having vision, it was obviously nerve-wracking, and the ophthalmologist who treated me, he told me that there was a good chance that my vision would come back, but there's always the chance that it wouldn't. And it was very nerve-wracking, and I know how I felt. I was very thankful whenever it did come back, and that was the feeling that I wanted to be able to give to people on an everyday basis. I had pretty much decided on optometry before that injury, but after that was really the solidifying factor for me, being on the other side of the chair. I applied to 9 optometry schools, actually. I was kicking around whether or not I wanted to do optometry or ophthalmology, and so I sat for the MCAT, took it, and then after I took the MCAT, I took the OAT. And the OAT went much better for me, but after really weighing the options and thinking about the pros of being an optometrist and building longer relationships with patients usually, I decided to pursue optometry school. I interviewed at 5 places, all on the eastern side of the United States. SCO stood out miles above everybody else. A few of the other institutions that I had visited had made significant changes either to curriculum or staff very recently, and SCO was very solid in their plan, and they have not made any major changes and have been in the front runner and setting the bar for everybody else instead of having to make changes to keep up. The staff is amazing, especially with all of this COVID and the adaptations that we're all having to make. The professors have gone above and beyond to make sure that we are prepared and we're getting all the information that we need to. And it's been really impressive to the extra hours that they've been willing to put in to make sure that we are successful as students. We did decide as a school to move to online learning. Our professors really put in a lot of hours. I would not even want to guess how many extra hours that many of our professors spent trying to learn how to work the Microsoft Teams, especially Dr. Jackson, who was absolutely phenomenal and kind of spearheaded the whole operation. Probably no manual that they had to say, okay, here's what we're going to do in the case of a global pandemic. But it was almost business as usual within a couple of days. It was really impressive. My favorite thing about SCO is the community feel, and there's no competition amongst the class. In undergrad and in high school, you're always competing against the person next to you, trying to get the better GPA or trying to just do a little bit better than them or get the extra edge for your resume. But here it's very, very open, and everybody's working together towards a common goal. And we all want each other to succeed. It's not oh, well, I'm going to exclude myself because I want to get an advantage. It's how can I help somebody else succeed? The faculty have always said from day one that their mission is to make us the best optometrists that we could possibly be, and I've always believed that. As far as the student body goes, again, we all have been working together, and the upperclassmen have been great, both with a big SIB program and just being able to reach out to the upperclassmen. They're very open and very honest, and you can go to anybody that you see walking down the hall and ask them a question, and they'll be glad to stop and answer it, or if they can't answer it, they'll put you in contact with somebody that can. It's very warm, it's very welcoming, and everybody wants you to succeed. I am in the Sports Vision Club, the North Carolina Club, and I would be the director of intramural sports. The intramurals are a blast. They do get competitive, but nothing that we aren't all friends at the end, but it's a good time, but we challenge each other and we compete. having played baseball and playing a collegiate sport, time was always a crunch anyway. I actually feel like I have more free time now than I did in college, even though we take 28, 26 hours a semester, so with twice the load. I would say just the sheer volume of information would be the biggest adjustment. The individual classes themselves, I would say, are fairly comparable to a college class, but taking twice as much information in at a time is definitely something that takes getting used to. I really like Memphis, and I will be honest, I was skeptical at first, just like everybody else in the world who's not from here. It doesn't get the greatest rep, and I didn't get to spend a lot of time here on my interview. I was in Memphis for less than 24 hours. It was a fly in that morning interview and fly out immediately after. But Memphis really is a wonderful place. I got very comfortable very quick. I ride my bike by myself, I run by myself multiple times a week and have never been concerned at all. My favorite restaurant is definitely the Blue City Cafe right on the corner of Beale Street. The best meal on Beale is the title, and they're not kidding with the ribs and catfish. It's always look forward to treating myself to that one. My family visits pretty often, and they enjoy it here as well. I am an only child, so my mother was quite skeptical of me being so far away and by myself, a lot farther than I was in college. But she loves Memphis as well, so I figured if she signed off on it, then I would too.